Hey, what did we get?
So Haloview sent us the new Haloview BT7 Touch.
Well, why did they do that?
Funny you should ask. Last year we did a review on the BT7. The BT7 has this monitor and screen, and we did a review on that and we posted it on YouTube. And a short time ago they reached out to us and said, hey, if we send you a BT7 Touch, would you like to do a review of that? And we said, yeah. So they sent us this. We didn't pay for this, but we're under no obligation at all to provide a positive review. We're pretty happy with the BT7, so I would guess that we'll be pretty happy with this one as well. So what we've got here is we've got the BT7 Touch. There is a extra, we'll open the box here in a second, there's an extra suction cup mount here that you can mount it on the screen, on the windshield. We may or may not do that, I don't know. They also sent us antenna. So this antenna will mount to the rear camera, and you can run this across the top of the roof. For example, if you had a metal RV where the signal was hard to get through, or very long RVs, I think they say over 40 feet. Ours is 35, so I'm hoping that we don't need to use this. In the box. Let's see what we got in the box. So we've got your manuals, the touch manual, the camera manual. The last time we reviewed these, we weren't really excited about a lot of useful information in here, but this was pretty good. This is the new monitor. Looks quite a bit more sleek than the previous one did. No buttons on there. So we're kind of excited to test that out and see how the touch functionality works. So there's a another mount in here. This has got some 3M sticky adhesive on here. It looks like we can probably just pull that off of there if we wanted to just mount it this way with a screw. We may do that based on the way we've got ours mounted today. We'll figure that out. Another camera on the rear. We're not going to actually install the camera. We did the camera install the last time we did a review of that. We'll put a link to that video in the description below. So at this point, we're not going to install the cameras because they're basically exactly the way we've got our current install done. What else we got down here? Oh, we got here's the camera antennas and the antennas for the display. Cigarette lighter power cord. This is a USB-C power cord, so that might be kind of handy not to be able to have to use a cigarette lighter. And then there's a couple other adapters in here. This is for wiring to, like, I think if you have a Furion camera on the back, you can use this and wire this to the camera. We ended up, when we did our install, ultimately we ended up just not using these, and we'll get to that in a bit here. And then I think this, I'm not sure what this might be, like a pairing cable or something. I'm not sure. Did you figure it out?
I figured it out. It's the Furion adapter for video-equipped RVs.
Okay, and how would you use that?
Well, I don't know, but that's what it is. You know how I know?
You looked in the manual.
I looked in the manual. Yeah. It's right there.
We won't talk about that. A couple of the little screen cleaner and things in here like that. So that's that. What I want to do next is I want to show you what we currently have installed, and then we'll get into the rest of this, start setting this up for the way that we're going to use it. And if you stick around to the end, we have a discount code for you that we'll put in the description below if you want to get a discount off your purchase from Haloview. So inside on our Alliance Paradigm 310, on our control panel, you can see that we have a camera switch. All of our cameras are wired to this light, so when we flip that switch, that is going to turn on all of our cameras all around the rig, so we don't have to run with running lights on. It's just an easy way of powering it, or if we want to use the cameras as an observation system around the camper when we parked, we can turn this on as well and use it that way and bring the monitor inside. So let's take a look outside. So on the outside of the camper we have the side marker light cameras. The cameras again are wired to the switch on the inside of the camper. The marker lights are wired to the marker lights for the vehicle. So if you order the BT7 Touch Plus package, I believe you get the side marker lights here. So again, we have one of these on both sides. On the back of the camper, you can see that we have 2 backup lights. I believe if you order the BT7 Ultimate package, you get 2 lights. I think generally they show putting one on the hitch to show the hitching portion, or if you wanted to have an observation camera out the front of the rig, you could have one out there. And we'll talk about why we have 2 on the back of the camera later in the video and why we have them back here. So here's our back camera. If you watched our prior video, you would have noticed that we only had one camera in the back. Now we have 2. The reason that we have 2, if you recall, we talked about the viewing angles of the 2 cameras and what you could see. One position you could see really well down the road, the other position you could see behind you, but you couldn't really do both very well. And I'll get into that in a lot more detail later in this video. So what we have here is we have the camera on the left is the camera that points high. The camera on the right is the camera that points down low. And so this allows us it's better for backing in, and we can see a little bit of our bikes on the back to see that those are in the correct position that they are. So we're going to hit this. We're going to go to this mode. We're going to go to pairing, and I've got 50 seconds to hit that camera. So pairing camera here. Did it come up?
I see something.
Okay.
We're actually getting audio through there.
Yes, we do. Get
Okay.
audio through there.
Okay.
Hit the menu. Hit pairing. Here's the next camera.
And we got it.
Okay, so that's 2 of them. So here's the pairing button on this camera. Might be easier to see on the other one. This is going to be channel 4. Okay, click that one. So we want to go to channel 3. Pairing, and this one you can see the button a lot better, and you got to push that little button kind of hard, and you'll hear a little click, and there it is. So let's take this back inside and we can straighten out these views. All right, so we've got all 4 of our cameras connected here. Just a little pro tip for you: when you go to start pairing cameras, make sure you put the antennas on there. We did put the antennas, we were able to pair without the antennas on there, but as soon as we walked around the camper, we lost connection. Our 2021 Chevy truck has got a tray that just drops in up here. It just got some clips on the bottom that allow it to snap in, so those just pop right out of there. What I've done is I've put a piece of wood in the bottom of this tray and put some screws around the sides of that so it'll stay in there. Then I took the Haloview mounting bracket here. It came with this 3M and a little bolt that went through there. I took the bolt out and took this little mounting thing off of there, so it's easy to get out the next time I want to do that. I just put a screw through the bottom here. We'll just drop this back in here and pop that back down, and then we'll drop the display on there, and we should be good to go. So we'll take a picture when we get that taken care of. All right, so we got it mounted on the dashboard. I really like this one a little bit better because it sits up just a bit higher and doesn't touch the dashboard there. The other one was a little low and just for whatever reason was always just a little bit crooked. So we'll be driving tomorrow, so we'll start getting some footage of the driving footage of this, and we'll see how it works out. I'm pretty excited. I think we've kind of got a winner here, so we'll check it out and we'll report back once we get some more testing done and let you know where we're at. Okay, so I'm going to go over a few settings on the screen here. So first off, these are our rear cameras. This is the high view looking back, and this is the low view. So it might seem obvious, but I'm just going to talk about this anyways, is when you set these cameras up, you want to get these set up so that they're like you're looking in the mirror. So when we first tried this, we thought we had it right, but it wasn't. So you can go in here to this camera view, click the screen again, go to the menu, and then you go to the mirror image here, so you can flip it up or down. So you can flip it back one way and you can flip it back the other way. So what you want to have here is when you're driving on the highway, you want to be able to see, particularly like in a multi-lane situation, you want to be able to see a car coming up behind you and know that when he's coming up on this side of the camera that he's going to be on your side of your left side of the RV. So that's just getting that mirroring part set up. All right, so what we've done here is we've set up some marker blocks behind the RV. These should be basically along the sides of the RV. So if you look down each of these blocks here, that's basically where roughly where the side of the RV is. So what would really be nice is if the camera had a wide enough view of angle that you could see very close down and then you could see out far away. This is the view that I prefer when we're driving because I can see all the way out behind the RV, down the highway behind me, so I can see what's coming up behind me, where this is just a short distance away. This is only about 20 feet out. So I prefer this view for driving. But for backing up, it'd be nice to have a longer view than what you can see here, because sometimes if you're trying to back into a site, you know, you're far enough out that you can't even see where the site is at this point. So you'd probably have to use all 4 screens at that point, but you don't have your little guidance lines. If you take this view here and you go into adjust the lane settings here, the parking lane here, I can't get these close enough all the way in to mark where the actual lane of the RV is. I can't get these adjusted. If I go back over to the other screen and I go to the park lane here I can get them adjusted fairly close, but still not quite completely lined up. It'd be nice if these were matching up with the true angle of the RV. So that's one area that's a slight frustration, but it's certainly not a deal killer. So one of the things that's not completely obvious when you're looking at the menu system here is if you want to make adjustments for a particular camera here, you can pick this mode here, it'll go to that screen, and this will take you to the overall menu. But if you tap one more time just on the screen here, it'll take you to the settings for this individual camera. So this shows that I've got the parking lane turned on, I have the sound turned off, this is the screen brightness, this is the light for the camera, and this is telling it to either record or not record. So this was one area of frustration. It took me a while to find that I needed to go into that extra screen. So read the manual. It is fairly useful, but there are some things that could be done better in the manual as well. All right, we're running in the dark, and we can see okay outside, not great. The tail lights and things are lighting up the road a bit. So this is the view in the dark, and we're going to hopefully catch what the transitions are when we go from dark to light. So we'll see how that all works out. It's just starting to get light out now, and you can see that the cameras are starting to pick up quite a bit more around the RV than when it was completely dark out. So this is just barely into twilight. It's cloudy right now, but it's actually got quite a nice view and quite a nice picture at this point. So we'll check in a little bit and see how it progresses here. So the display just transitioned from night view to daytime view, and it's very bright right now, so that would be a nice improvement if we could either adjust that transition time, but it's in the daytime view now and it's considerably brighter than it needs to be, so that's,
especially when you compare it to the GPS.
Yeah, and everything else. So there's a sensor on here someplace, and
Don't be doing that while you're driving.
Not sure where that is in order to get that toned down a little bit, or we could turn the brightness down a little bit, I suppose. That would be the other option.
Hard to do when you're driving.
Hard to do when you're driving, yeah. So this is one of those instances where I really like the side cameras. As you can see, I can't see down the side of the camper by the fence. I know I've got enough clearance there, but I can't see that in the mirror. But as you can see, if I'm looking at the display in this corner here, I can see very well down the side of the camper. So that's one of the reasons I really love having the side cameras on the screen. So this is one of the spots where I really like having the cameras. We tend to drive around 65 miles an hour, and when I'm in the right-hand lane, I try and stay a little farther to the right. So it's very easy to see where I'm at in the lane. I can see the white line to the left of the RV on the bottom screen, and I can see the white line on the bottom to the right. So it's really helpful knowing where you're at in the lane. Again, like we talked about before, construction zones, that's really super helpful. Also, you can see, you know, behind us in the top screens, I can see a vehicle way back there that I wouldn't be able to see if that camera was pointed down farther. So I really like having that back camera pointed in that top view. If we didn't have the camera for the pointing down to see the bikes on the back of the RV, I would go with one camera pointed up high like that. We don't currently have the bikes on the back of the RV, so you can't see them in that top right camera. But if we did have the bikes back there, you can just see the handlebars kind of in the bottom of that screen to see that they're in the correct position where they're supposed to be.
Now you can see the person passing us on the left, and we can see them coming from a long way.
Yep. All right, so we've driven about 1,700 miles now with a new Haloview BT Touch. So we've had a lot of time to test it out. So we're going to finish our review up today.
So overall, you've got the new BT7 touch screen. What do you think is improved from the old one that you had? Number one, let's start with that.
So the screen is a lot more sleek. It looks a lot better. The touch screen menus work better. So it's a little more intuitive. There's some things that could be improved there as far as the way things are connected together. But overall, the monitor and the screen and things like that are a lot nicer than what the old system had.
So do you feel like this is a good upgrade?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
And when you opened up this particular package, it just had the screen and one backup camera. And you already explained why we have two backup cameras. But talk a little bit about the side cameras.
So the side cameras are one of my favorite parts of the whole system. I really, you know, when we first purchased the RV, we didn't have a camera system, and we just went off the mirrors, and we did just fine with that. But in hindsight, I wish we would have purchased the cameras right away, because it really gives me a lot more confidence on the road. I like the side cameras for being able to see down the sides of the road, my position in the lane, in particular if we get to an area where there's construction, you've got concrete barriers running on both sides. That can be a real high pucker factor, and being able to easily glance up and see your position in the lane and where those barriers are is very comforting, I would say. You know, in the past, what we'd have to do is I'd have to look to the side mirror, I'd have to find the convex mirror over there, and then I'd have to look, you know, follow that down to the edge of the trailer and see where the line is. And while you can do that in a fairly short period of time, maybe, you know, under a second, it's just so much easier to be able to glance up, see the two lane positions in the display, and know exactly where you are in both lanes. So knowing your position in the lane is really, I think, one of the biggest parts that I like about the whole system is having those side cameras. The backup cameras are good, and I like the view down the back of the RV, because, you know, when you look in the rear view mirror, you can't see you know, behind the RV, so you can see things behind the RV that aren't there. We did add that second backup camera that shoots down farther, and that's because we had an incident on the road where we had a bike rack fail, and we dragged bikes down the road. And now we like having that second camera in order to see that. Plus, if you're in a parking lot and you want to be able to back up, again, without being able to see right behind the camper, it's hard to tell. So that is one of the improvements that I would like to see in the system, is having a wider view in that backup camera. I don't know if they could set something like that in the menus or whatever to expand that view, but that would be my one small complaint about the whole thing. You know, overall, I really like the entire system, but that is one small drawback. And
what you would like is to be able to see from the bumper all the way out.
Yep, right. And the cameras, on the cameras, and the specs for the cameras say they've got a 120 degree angle of view, but you don't get that on the display. I think there's something on the box that says maybe 85 degrees. I haven't actually gone out and measured what that field of view is off the cameras on the rig. It may even be smaller than that. What I would say is, you know, if somebody in particular is just starting out driving a fifth wheel trailer, you know, we went from a pop-up trailer to a 35-foot fifth wheel, which was quite a change for us. I would say if somebody's just starting out driving a big trailer like this, I would highly recommend having the full system with the side cameras and the back cameras, just because it gives you so much more confidence as to where you are in the lane, and you've just got a better view all around the vehicle.
So the price is worth it.
Yeah, that's the one thing is, if you look at the BT7 Touch, they have the Plus package, which includes one of the backup cameras, and they have the Ultimate package, which includes two of the cameras. It is expensive. I think the Plus or the Ultimate package is over $700, but if you look at that to the cost of having a major incident on the highway, it's relatively inexpensive insurance.
Plus, you can get 5% off by buying it through our
So if you check the in the description below, there's a web link, and you use the discount code DESTINED TO EXPLORE, you can get 5% off your purchase. The prices on the website are the same as the prices that you would pay on Amazon, and they do have free shipping there, so there's not an additional cost as far as going to the web page. So that's a good way to get a little discount off your system.
All right. So overall, thumbs up.
We love the system. What's you've driven with it, and you don't drive a lot. What's your viewpoint?
The biggest thing I would agree with is the side cameras. The other thing is, for me, when I'm passing somebody, especially like a big semi or something, I love the cameras because because it's very hard to tell in the side view cameras if you're far enough ahead to return to your lane, because everything's a little bit distorted. But the rear view cameras help me see when we're far enough beyond where I can actually see our shadow in front of the RV, whoever we're passing.
Yeah.
So I really like those for knowing that I'm far enough past and I don't have to worry about cutting in too close when I'm passing. So I really like the camera. I haven't tried any other brands, but this one seems to suit our purposes.
Yeah, it does really well.
Yeah. So for what it's worth, that's our review of
the Haloview BT7 Touch.
Yes. We recommend it. Check it out.